Welcome back to Preacher Max Alive. It is 11:53. You mean it's almost lunchtime? Wednesday, April 10th. We might have to do a song here or something for your lunch hour. All right, I think I'll do that after I do a little pain management. Because I hurt like a son of a bitch right now. I was laying down this morning when my little sister Tony walked in, and I have this one cushion that remains from Vicky's house that was on a wooden chair, one of those kind of stiff pillows. And I fold it in half and I put it right at my cervical and thoracic junction, and then another pillow folded under my head, imagining I'm going to use my neck harness. That's supposed to be a neck hammock to ease the tension in my neck when I'm on the boat. So I'm trying to release the energy, and when she came in, it was great because I was like, oh man, finally, hi, I can say hi without the pressure of what, So hello to my friends who've been nice enough to check in on these multiple lives that I do. I'm actually setting myself up to keep training in my broadcast sense, sharpening my skills, honing my skills, relearning or learning, because technology doubles every 3 years. I learned from UCF, being very close to the computer side of that university for a dozen years. Things go quick with technology, and I'm learning that the things that I bitched about before have either been corrected or better. So drag and drop is pretty cool if it works, and it seems to. Oh, excuse me. Plus, I'm loving the Apple Watch. I'm an Apple guy anyway. Everything I've got is Apple.
It's 11:56.
11:56. It's almost lunchtime. 11:56, 12, 13. That's a 4. Sheila coming out of sharp. Where are you? Do I have to invite my friends? No, I don't. They know I'm around. They're driving to someplace. No, you're about to get up off your desk and you're secretly listening to me without checking in because you don't want me to say your name, so your boss doesn't know that you're about to slip out early. Or you just did. You slipped out early for lunch, didn't you? You did. Who's doing that? I'm getting the signal from a bunch of you. You're on your way to... Where are you going? You're not supposed to drink your lunch. Hey, it's only hump day. That means you got to get up over today in order to go drink. After work, someplace safe. So you don't drive if you drink more than one. You get one. God, not at lunch. Hey, they call it a cocktail because you're a dick for drinking at lunch. Stop it. God, you think you get looser. You don't. Your kidneys do. Yeah, it runs right through your ass, doesn't it? Because you didn't eat. You went and drank your night. You're sitting down at the bar already. You're there, aren't you? You are. God, it's 11:57 on a Wednesday. You're sitting at the bar going, fuck it. I'm having a drink no matter what preacher says. Shit. Fuck him. Damn. I'm going to have me a drink. Whether preacher says so or not, for lunch, I am going to drink it right now. Okay, everybody, get your favorite beverage ready. We're going to pop the top right because you're already sitting there. I know the bartender will give it to you open, and they have to. They can pop it in front of you. Tell them to get it. You got 2 minutes less than that. Come on now. I'll even open a brand new Coke Life. I will. Uh-oh. You got about a minute and a half. Get that beer ready. Get the bartender rest over there. They went Budweiser's all the way down the line. Have somebody else pay for it. Now, damn it, since I decided to live now, I'm not going to kill myself. No, I'll let Mother Nature do that. I decided to drink some life because it has 60 calories, which is really, really good for you. You know why? Because it's carbohydrates, it's fuel. This is the real energy drink here. It's called cane sugar. It comes from the sugar cane. You know, it grows up. They process it a little bit, but it's cane sugar, so it's less processed. Now, stevia is something that was discovered back in the late 17th century. That would be 18 something. No, yeah, it was somewhere up around the 1800s. It was discovered by a guy. It really wasn't discovered. Stevia had been used for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of day-long years. So the stevia part is supposed to be healthier. So now you got the fuel from the stevia and then a little bit of the cane sugar, you know, which is less processed than your white bleached sugar. So now you got 60 calories, which is carbohydrates. It's not empty fuel. No, it's burnable fuel. Damn it. I've been drinking phenylalanine for a long time and no. Uh-oh, it's 12 hours. I just heard it I heard it. It's 12. Pop the top of that beer that you're drinking for lunch. What's wrong with you people? You're drinking for lunch. It's okay. If it's a Coke Life, you know that you're living it. If you're not living it, then you're kind of dead weight, aren't you? Get out of the way. DTW, dead in the water. DITW is what I used to say. Dead in the water. Oh, somebody give me a toe. I don't need one because I got 60 calories of go, 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 not an energy drink that makes me like this. No. And I can gulp this down in 1 or 2, maybe 3, and right after. One. What about you? Come on, hurry up. We got to do the next one. It's lunchtime. I'm hungry. I'd like another course, please, of Coke in my life. 60 calories more, and I'll be maybe 120 calories more, and I'll be good to go. 180 calories, woo! I'll be ready to, whoa, go for it. Okay, we got Lancey Stringfellow, who I made fun of in the last live, because you never say nothing. Usually you say hi, sometimes, not too often. You would be first in my universe, but you didn't send me a heart. And you know the rule, don't you? Because you've been around only to have me read your name, Lancey Stringfellow, uttered nevermore, until I get a heart from you. Renata Nana Yabzorno, though, in Norway, will say hi to me as she, oh, there it is. But she will not send me a heart. Because it's vulnerable, I suppose. Mine, yours, ours. And so I get a thumbs up from Jose Vampy Mariscal. Mariscal, of course it is. And here comes a heart from I don't know who. I have to put my little mousy pointer switch over. It says Renata Nana Yabjornal in Norway. She won't tell me the city because she thinks I'm a stalker, not in your wildest dreams. I'll send for you, okay? Okay, it says 2. Now I got to check it out. It says, how do I get 2 hearts? It says, well, like I'm supposed to know who me is. She says, I just did. I know I rolled my thing over your heart, and I could tell whose it is just by putting my thing right over it. The mouse. Anyway, I just did, she said. So did I. It's me. Finish the sentence, bitch. Ha ha, she says. She does not LOL like the rest of you humans and humans. You humans and humans, and sometimes you children, I got to think of a different name for that one. Do the LOL thing or the L mail. I'm not quite sure what the rolling on the floor is other than throw up, because it looks like rough to me. When you ruffle on the floor, I'm like, wow, who's going to clean that shit up? And she says sadness. Either you need to learn how to spell or that's the name of a city. Sandnes. Sandez. Sandez. And so where do you live? Renata. I live in an old German woman. I'm trying to think of her dialect so that I can do that. It's kind of close. When I lived in Germany, I was looking for Gallwitzers. There were none. They all got expelled out of Germany, and I had heard about it, but I thought I'd check. Well, I ran into an old German woman down in, I don't know, in Miami South something. I've built like 100 banks in Florida. So and she says, Gallwitzer. Gallwitzer. Yes. You have a very famous general in your family. I said, I do I? She goes, yes. I said, no, I went over to Germany. I lived there. I said, I didn't find any Gallwitzers. But she goes, no. You must look in East Germany. I said, East Germany? She goes, East Germany. That's where you would find them, if they are. She said, your family, General Gallwitzer tried to kill the Kaiser. So he was executed. Your family was sent away, you see, except for those that were not. I am, however, glad to see you have yourself ein guter heute, yeah? I said, yes, ma'am. Danke schön. So, she lives in Sandnes, or it's Wachst 18, or Oxen. Pettymore joined us, and Nana Yabdono says, my city is Sandnes. Wachst is the street. Or is it Wachst? I like that. Wachst. We don't need vowels, just consonants. My name is Renata Nananya Buongiorno. My city is Sandnes. Sandnes. Vox is my street. That's right. I live at 18 Vox. Oxen for your Dutchen people. You must look in East Germany if you must find your people. They were not allowed to go except for those that were pushed away. And when I was 27 years old, I played Jesus in Godspell in a theater called Belfry Theater in Williams Bay, Wisconsin. Used to be an old summer stock theater up there where Gary Berghoff from Masked Radar is from, Williams Bay. But Paul Newman went there during college and did performances, his first professional. So did Harrison Ford. I found the flyer underneath the stage. But the point of Gallwitzer is right across the street is Gallwitzer Restaurant with 2 L's instead of 1. Never did get a story from them on how we're related, but what does that matter when we're talking about we're not a Yabdono city of Sandnes, living at 18 Vox Street. GT is short for Gata, which means street. So 18 Gata. Oh, gotcha. GT is short, so GT. Vox, Vogs, Vegs. Sandnes, Vegs is the street. Vegs GT, so is street, so Vag Street. GT is short for Gata, which means street. And Patty Moore says, our city is Zion, or Zion. The emphasis is really on the I, not the on. So it's Zion. And a lot of people can't pronounce it correctly. Oh, see, I'm one of them that does that. I don't know why, Patty. I say Zion because that's not the way I was raised. You know, Zion, Illinois, just plain old Zion. Incorrectly. I now live in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, which isn't really too far away, I don't think. I moved up over the state line for about 3 years into Pleasant Prairie on what's called Lewis Avenue in Illinois. And just a couple miles up on the right, there's a property with a rental property in the back that I owned. And I built a 4-car garage out of expanded polystyrene right there. That was fun. But Zion, Illinois, nope, about, well, 45 minutes to me isn't too bad. But I guess if you're thinking at 60 miles an hour average, you know, which is 1 mile a minute, is the way I think of it, you're 45 miles away, right? Just on the average. As the crow flies, it might take longer if you got to go around obstacles like, you know, mountains, which you don't. Maybe a lake might have to go around. So Patty Moore, I'm not quite sure I remember you or know your family. I did lose all of my memory a year ago, but I've gotten a lot of it back. And that's one of the reasons why I make videos of my memories as I remember them. Come in to my brain. I question it a little bit at times because as a philosopher, I know that we call up the past for certain purposes in the present, whether it's to make ourselves feel better, justified, to feel worse for some reason, because I'm now studying the whole feeling sorry for yourself deal. I believe it's more feeling for yourself, but that feeling can be called up from past memory to nurture yourself through what other people say is a bad thing, which is called feeling sorry for yourself. No, feeling for myself and forget you for judging me for it. So Patty Moore says, I just got the CDs for Crows in the Autumn Sky. How did you get the CDs for Crows in the Autumn Sky? How did you get them? Tell me that, because they haven't been released yet. Oh, wait a minute. So you know Ted Sabine, because he has like 100 copies of them, and he's free to. I said, I got a duplicating machine. I made a bunch of them, and I sent them to him. Hi, Ted and Mogi. If you hear or see them, I haven't wanted to bother Ted at all because I want to talk to him about getting the book up on iTunes, which means there's no CDs. I know what CDs are talking about because I actually ran those through my duplicating machine and my printer. So what you have there, if you just got it, 29 chapters of me, exactly 8 hours of audio of doing Ted Sabine's story, his life story, as far as one summer goes, 1 or 2 summers, back during World War II in Zion, Illinois. Now try and start saying it correctly. Forgive me for my mispronunciation of Zion, Illinois. He obtained a crow from a tree and burned his ass coming down and was kind of unsteady going up and kind of was flitting about out on the bough of a tree there, Teddy. You shouldn't have done that, especially when you look down. Hang on. You got the crow, refused to put it in a cage. You see, he taught that crow to act like an idiot down in the basement when they were having a little dinner party. You know, there was the lady who just had to know what that thing was in the basement that was going, and Pop was upstairs going, you know, Ted Sabine's father must have been quite a jokester, kind of like Willie, what's his name? Gary Coleman's father, Willie Coleman, was really funny. So Ted Sabine's funny. You know, Zion, that's where Gary Coleman's from, and they were from. And Ted Sabine was world traveler and real funny and stuff. So their father must have been funny because he goes like this. You know, they got a crow in the basement, like, you know, going nuts, saying, "Ah, what's going on up there, up there, up there, ah!" And they've been feeding the damn things as many damn bugs as they can find, right? I mean, how many bugs can you find anyway? Bunches. You got to find bunches and spiders. You got to. But here's the problem. You don't feed them fresh fruit. You don't do it. So at first, it was like, ah, Dad was like, you know, Pop was like, oh, don't, no, you can't go in the basement. Nope, it's the brother that nobody ever sees. He's, no, we can't. Oh, oh, oh. So then his mom comes in and goes, get away from the door. Let the damn bird up here. She wants to see the bird. So they bring the bird up, and Teddy says, hey, yeah, you know, that's okay. I'll bring you the bird. Yeah, 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 I go get the bird. He gets the bird, and he's like, I got a bird. You want to hold it? Okay, you hold it. And then he was going to go do something, and he turns around and he sees that the lady's been giving Sammy the crow strawberries. Don't do that, lady, because you see the crow, if you look at him from the inside, his pipage goes straight through. It's a straight line, straight from here to whoo, in your lap. Oh no! So Teddy goes running in slow motion. It's bloop. Now that's the way to take a shit. You cup your hands underneath the bird just in time, and then you fly past like this, making sure that you're under the bird to get that little drippage that would have landed in her lap too. Now you didn't sacrifice nothing because it's really good protein. And Dad showed you before that you could put it on like war paint, and you do. Make that up if you were the guy that told the story because you just wanted to make it and kind of like dramatically with the war paint. He never did that. That was called artistic license from somebody who's not artistic enough to know when to put it on iTunes like 5 years ago or so, because it took 5 years to do that sucker. I learned the whole audio industry not very good, obviously. Anyway, she said, I just got, she said, I was Patty Roberts. My sister is, that's right. We did that. And I sent her a copy. That's right. In 2018. Really? I did it in 2018. I don't remember that year much. She gave it to me a couple of days ago. I hope she enjoyed it. I never heard nothing about it. Didn't we talk? You guys were listening to me and then laughing. We were talking about me pulling on her beautiful seductive hair and stuff. And then you guys bailed on me because you all went to dinner or something and said, oh, turn him off. We can't watch nothing when we eat. So I said, he's an idiot. And he talks about her hair like it's some type of thing, you know. Okay, you're clear to go. And she started listening to it, and you have a great voice for it. Watch this. I know. Pretty good, right? One take. Yeah, that was us, is what she says. They and she what she just did is admit that was us. We were listening to you, enjoying, you know, your freakedness about the hair pulling of my big sister, and you're not remembering who the hell I was, but then you did, and you said, oh, the cute one that looks like my big sister, but younger. And then you could probably grab her hair too and pull it. That way it'll equalize out a little bit. But no. Once I started talking to them and expecting like a response, they said, no, cut him loose. Push him away. Get rid of him. Turn him off. Preacher, you're ugly. That'll turn me off every time, Patty. God, I thought you liked me there for a minute. But no, oh, my lens is coming out now. Did you do that? You put a hex on. I sent you a picture of your old house. I saw. Oh, anymore. Okay. Yeah. The last time I saw that house, 2105 Horb Avenue, was right after my pop's funeral, just before it. I think I got there a day early or something to check out, Illinois Beach State Park, and I can't remember how many years ago it was, but I went by the house and it was empty and it was raining down a little bit, and Vicki and I stopped and I walked up to my old bedroom underneath the carport, and I looked into the bedroom that I looked out of when I had the mumps, and I wasn't allowed to go outside, and it didn't matter because I knew that if I had been outside, I'd be doing the same thing I was doing inside, which was watching everybody else play. And then I'd go to the side of the hill and I'd play with my toys, my cars, stuff. So I saw the side of the hill there too, which was a little gentler. It wasn't the pronounced little dip down that we had before. The picket fence wasn't there anymore. I think something else was up. The tree in the back was 50 feet tall. I planted that tree on Arbor Day with my parents and my brother, George. And then I remember there had been an oak tree in the front when I was a little boy. Huge oak tree in front. Or elm, that's what it was. And it was the elm disease that took down all the trees that looked like the majestic, tunnels like we have down here, where the trees grow to each side of the street, and above you have canopy and underneath you have street. That's kind of old-timey town that Zion was until the elm disease or something took it out. And so now that tree is gnarly. I got a picture of it. It's huge and it's gnarly. And I just wanted to climb up that son of a bitch, but I was kind of busy remembering my pop. Now, she said she also sent a picture of Paula's old house too. Now, that's a house at 23rd and Joanna or something like that. That house is very special to me because I dated two of the girls that lived there. Sue was my first girlfriend, Sue McCrary, and I married Paula, her younger sister. I was in shows with Sue first and then Paula later. And I loved and love her family very much. Her father was a preacher. Alan McCrary was a preacher that I got very close to, and I think maybe some of my voice mannerisms come from him, especially when he caught. Now, my life is public. She had the strep throat. We were going to do How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And Sarah Jolson said it was okay for us two to do the leads. She had been soprano and varsity singers. I was a bass baritone type, and so we were going to do it. But she got the strep throat, and so Cubby Holmes and another girl, I can't remember her name, Fisher. But very beautiful young lady. They ended up doing the show, and it was a great success. But she had the strep throat, and then I kind of got it. But the way I got it, well, I'll just tell you what Preacher Allen said when he walked into the bedroom that I was having a vigil with my girlfriend. She was sick and she wanted me to vigil. She wanted the vigil. So what Preacher McCrary said, and that's how I know his voice a lot. He goes, okay, it's kind of like this. Key, we really love you here, but I don't think it's appropriate for the two of you to be in the same bed. I was vigiling. The front door's unlocked. I'm heading that way quick. She said, I didn't remember that. You weren't there. Read the 1-5 ups. I have no idea what you're talking about. Read the 1-5 lines up. Okay. God, you're psychic also, aren't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also sent a picture of Paul's old house too. That's what I was talking about. The old house that I went down to get in the back door in and left my Montego with the keys in it, and some asswipe gets in it and steals it. My Batmobile. My Montego, 1972 Montego. It was like a Batmobile. Some bitch took off in it. I just was going to take her to the door. So I took her inside the door. So what? The washing machine's there and she could get up on it and you could hug. I know that house good. Some bitch took off my car. My brother chased him into a telephone pole. Some bitch. He should have chased him into the telephone pole. I sued him. No, I didn't. I went to court, though, and everybody else did, too, that he stole from. They said, oh, never mind. He doesn't have to give you the $350 you paid for that damn piece of great car, man. Read the 1-5 up. Man, I hope that's the one. No, you said it again. Read the 1-5 lines up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also sent a picture. Oh, we were at our mom's. 2305 Horeb. You live by Tony Rowland. He lived across the street. Really early on. That's a familiar name. See, what I do is I jump through time. Right now, in the driveway where the tree was there, and the lady across the street was a young girl that babysat us, that bought me a kite, and it got caught in a tree. And there's an alley right there, right across, and to the left of that alley was this house that was set back. I think there was no, it wasn't an alley, it was a driveway. That's where the Rowlands lived. Or it was a few houses down towards the Leach's house across the street, kitty corner. I think. That's what I see. I don't know. Yeah. Does he still exist? Because I don't remember what he looks like. I think he might have been a friend of my brother's. I didn't have friends in the neighborhood. They weren't really allowed to play with me. It was a choice. They either had to play with my brother or with me. And if they played with me, they weren't allowed to play with him, according to him. So I'm not sure if he was older than me or my age, but I wasn't really exposed to too many kids. I remember the name, though. I remember the name. I wasn't allowed to go off the block. I wasn't allowed to go across the street. So I remember I'd stand at kitty court to the Leach's house, and I'd played with Letitia a couple times, and there's Letitia. I couldn't go across the street and knock on the door. See, I'm actually breaking out in hives a little bit because it's an emotional response to a memory that isn't pleasant. And so I break out in hives, I think. Either that, it's because I stood there too long, because I come back and then I get itchy. Doesn't matter the situation. And then I start going nuts a little bit. Anyway, there's a new comment. Let me see what it is. I don't mind doing this, by the way. This is good training for me. Time to start clearing the syrup out. The Coke Zero and the Coke is going to be more of a treat than anything. Patty Moore said he was my boyfriend when I was like 10. He was on the opposite side of the road. Okay, I think, how old is George? He's a year and 4 days older than me. His birthday is February 19th, 1960. He's 59 years old. Yes, he's still alive, referring to Tony Rowland. Tell him I said hi. He won't know who the hell I am. I'm just the younger kid that lived across the street. Well, if he was your boyfriend, you're 10, that means he's got to be my age. But he had to have played with my brother because my brother organized all the softball games either in the backyard or whatever. So he was the organizer of everything that happened in the neighborhood and the ruler of such. So it's just the way life is. I'm not sitting here lamenting over it other than to say I learned from it. What I learned is this. We were just freaking kids, man. That's what kids do. You know, sometimes we bully each other and sometimes we stand up for each other. Well, sometimes it goes one way more than the other. Deal with it or don't. Oh, no. I'd rather work through. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I will not bring it up if you want." That's a type of statement I'd like to hear. But it's totally unnecessary because I like to hear that to be able to tell you this. I'd rather work through it. I'm not as long-winded as I used to be. I've been training myself for the last 6 months to do 3 minutes, beginning, middle, end, full circle, which means you start with and then end with the same thing. I've been trying to, I tried to, a dozen years ago, reconnect with my brother. It didn't work out. And what I've learned in the last year is that if something is too hard to attempt to do, especially down the chosen path that you decide to do it, maybe it's not something the universe thinks should happen, if you believe that sort of thing. And so when something is really, really hard, I just say, okay, forget it. Just like, you know, he told, I know a Roland also. His name's Sam Roland. He lives down here. I've worked with him in 3 different companies. I've been his right hand. I was right hand for a decade. Well, he used to be a youth pastor, and I asked him to call my brother George and see what's up. I said, I'm trying to get back with him, but I don't understand. If I'm bad, am I bad for life? You know, if you're labeled bad, are you just unapproachable? It's just not worth it? And so he said, well, sure, I'll call him and see. And he did. And he told me he called him, but he wouldn't tell me what he said for a month. And I'm like, I wish you had just told me you refused to call him. And he goes, all right, I'll tell you. And the quote was, I have never, and I quote, my brother, George Victor Gallwitzer, born on the date I told you, I have never loved Keith. I have never liked Keith. There is no room in my life for Keith. End the quote there. Well, that means it's too hard to connect with that son of a bitch because he didn't defend me anyway. And I'll just leave you with this. When I was going to Central Junior High School, now I've hated bullying all my life because I was bullied, damn it. And then I turned into a bully when I got bigger, when I was about 12 or 13. And I didn't like that because I saw it. And so I fought against my own bulliness by trying to help those who were being bullied. It was a good way for me to divert. So when I was in junior high school, in the 7th grade, which was just before the 8th grade when I did my very first play called It's a Woman's World, where I played a house husband who was beat down by the powerful woman's society. And Tony Decker, who's now deceased, who was a great linguist and was a interrogator in the U.S. military, played a men's lib guy, you know. So, but the year before that, I'm in 7th grade, and I'm my brother's understudy on a play, the only play he was ever in. I don't remember it other than that. Now, walking home, we had to go by this grade school, right? The one right there by Central Junior High. Walking by it, and I see this kid that's from 8th grade, my brother's age, bullying a 5th or 4th grader. Took his hat. It was colder than witch's tit out there. Your ears would get frozen up and they'd shatter if you hit it with your thumb. So the guy was being mean and a dick. And I just couldn't help it. I just blurted, said, just give the kid back his hat, man. He's cold. Well, he did. He turned and he looked at me and the hat goes like this. He goes, right. Well, that son of a bitch jumped on me. I'm on my back and I got tears coming down because he's taking snow and he's shoving it into my face. You think you're going to help that kid? Nah. Well, yeah, you did help him, didn't you? Right then, George Victor Gowitzer walks over us, right by us, looking down with a shit-eating grin on his face. And it stopped. The bully and me were both looking at him and watch him keep walking, smiling. His back to us, never looked back. Just kept walking home, slow. And the bully turns to me and goes, wasn't that your brother? I said, yeah. He goes, so he won't even defend you? I said, nope. He goes, son of a bitch, nobody loves you, do they? Nobody even likes you, son of a bitch. Little more snow. Get up. Kick me in the ass real hard. Say, get your pussy ass home, you fuck. So I went home and I asked my brother, George Victor Gowitzer, why he didn't defend me. I was helping a kid. I told him of my noble cause and he said, I don't believe you. You're lying. You weren't helping anybody. Besides, I figured you deserved it. Whatever you did, you deserved it. So I'm thinking, if I tell the absolute fucking truth about a situation and it's not good enough, at least for my big brother, I gotta lie, right? Make something up? Because the truth is not good enough. Or I'm just not good enough to be a little brother that for 3 days, he's 2 years older than me, telling me how much people just don't love me. He got all the presents. I'm not going to get any. Forget about my birthday cake. He already had some. Besides, why do you want carrot cake? You know I don't like carrot cake. That's why you want it. Right. For 3 days just before your birthdays. Celebrate, right? Thanks, George. You know what? Guess what? I don't want to know you anymore. It's too much trouble on my emotions. Okay? Oh, they did. She says, that's so sad. His loss. Yeah, no. I could leave it. I do chow baby, which means just leave it there. I've learned from Dr. Phil McGraw that if you take a situation or an emotion, which that is, I consider that a contained emotion. That whole episode I've been reliving in my mind all my life. But I can do that. I put it in a container, put it out in front of me and shove it to the side just a little bit. If I want to, I go, but it's the past. And I drew it up for a reason. Whether it was to tell you how badly I was hurt in my life and I'm justified for it because he's such a bad guy, or it's for me to see myself say it and go, you know what? I might want to look at that differently because we were just kids, for God's sake. And that was a frozen moment in time that I've lamented and thought about my entire life that he probably doesn't even remember and would say, if I really, really knew that and wasn't in my own shit of whatever that was, I might have dove in and tackled that son of a bitch and beat his face in for taking the kid's hat too. But we were kids in the emotion of the moment. That's my analysis. My big brother did nothing wrong other than react to whatever was in his head at the time for whatever it is. Could have been a daily argument or struggle that we had with ourselves and our dysfunctional family. My mother's an alcoholic. My father had to work all the time. We were latchkey kids that had to deal with each other, right? So he's not at fault. I'd give him a big hug and a kiss and love his family just like I should, because he's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's the commissioner of police and fire. You got to have a heart for that. just not a very good big brother in memory. That's all. And she said, Shiloh School, I think that's the name of the grade school there. Did you know they tore down Pierce campus? I'm sad to hear that. I hope they save some part of the rotunda, because the rotunda has history for me. When I walk up through that rotunda, I'd always think about West Side Story. First time I walked through that rotunda was go see Nan Studebaker in West Side Story. 10 years before I did Jesus Christ and Godspell, walking through that. So I'm 7 years old instead of 17. At 7 years old, I go in and watch West Side Story. Nan Studebaker, walk across that grand rotunda, round, grand high school built by Dr. Alexander Dowie, who founded the city, or was it Volva, who was right after? Did you know that Volva, who was a successor for Dr. Dowie, developed the inner Earth theory? He's the one that said there's subterranean worlds underneath ours. But anyway, I forgot. Oh, Pierce campus. So I was in love with Nan Studebaker for a while. I ended up talking to her and say, "Oh, I loved you," and she's like, "Thanks." Because she ended up marrying a big movie star and stuff. And I think she even told the story about how she went to the bathroom at the Emmys between Barbara Streisand and, I don't know, somebody else that you wouldn't want to fart in between. If it's a wrong story, then I'm bad. But anyway, I remember there was firecrackers involved, and they went off and scaring people in the crowd. And I found one, and it didn't have a fuse in it, and I put it in my pocket. And I was down in the basement playing by myself after the show, and the relatives were upstairs. And I was trying to figure out what to do with this thing, with a lighter or a match, probably a match, trying to figure out what to do with it. And some bitch went off. And my father comes down like, the gun went off or something, and there's no gun inside the house. What? Running down. We just saw a show where they were pop, 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 pop. And I grabbed the crutch, and I was like, and he goes, what the hell happened? I'm like, well, I was on this crutch, and I leaned on the crutch, and I go, and I slipped, and I think there was a spark, an explosion. Not quite sure what it was. Smells just like that play we were just at. Lying wasn't favored on in our house. There's usually a belt involved, but I think he had pity on me that time. There was relatives, and I think my answer was in the right vein. So Pierce campus is no more. I hope they saved a trinket, because that's all that we should save. And the second largest wooden structure in the world at one time, the Zion Hotel, is no more. I hope the Dome is doing well wherever it is. And they hastened the destroying of that hotel to do what? Make a parking lot? I toured that hotel the night before they took it down. They started taking out the bell tower. I was let in by somebody from the park district that had a key, and I went in right at dusk with a flashlight, and I walked around that entire building, every square inch, and I asked its walls for its stories. I am not kidding you. I crawled into every space that I could get into, my flashlight. I crawled through the bell tower, and I can see in my mind right now I'm there. I have some questions about a few walls, but she said, no, they didn't. What? They didn't. I don't know. Did they? So the bell tower is gone too? No, they didn't. I was so sad. I told Andrew when we went past it the other day the same thing. But my dad was in 12th grade. Him and a bunch of kids put one of the teachers' VW bug in the rotunda. Oh, did they? They got it through the doors? I bet you could do that. I don't tell me it was Sarah Jolson's VW bug, because she was famously known for always having a VW bug that was a convertible. Yes, the dome is still there. It's kind of spooky. No, it isn't. I just said I crawled through every single inch of that space, inspecting it, asking, well, I'll let you know. There's some interesting stories in that space, though, I'll tell you that. Remember the guy that used to walk behind it, yelling at the ants with his hands behind his back, bent over? I know of him. I am him, kind of. Crazy enough to be. They sent everybody from Elgin there that was crazy. That's where he came from. Elgin had a state mental hospital that they closed down because they closed them all down. Because who are you to say who crazy is? As crazy does? Then you're all crazy. Because you throw rocks at each other for no reason. So, Patty, if you all ever come down to Florida, let me know where you're going to be. If it's anywhere near where the houseboat is, we'll have a party. If I'm anywhere near Disappearing Island, that's south of Daytona Beach. Look for Ponce Inlet. It's just Ponce Inlet is right at New Smyrna Beach. New Smyrna Beach, and you come into Ponce Inlet, and right there is Disappearing Island. That island is exposed at low tide, and it disappears during high tide. I lost a propeller there. Well, Vicky did, but I told her to drive over that spot right there, forgetting that the island either was just there or just wasn't there anymore. It's across from the Coast Guard station. Look it up on your overhead topical map, and you'll see that that's a nice party spot. Ferry everybody over there from New Smyrna Beach, either in the houseboat. I'm going to get a small pontoon boat to shuttle supplies back and forth to the houseboat. That's going to be my dinghy as a mini pontoon boat, because I can possibly do water taxiing also and just make tips. He said it was over 60 years that your dad did that. Well, it might have been spooky then. I tell you that. 60 years ago would have been fun, man. God, it would have been a lot fresher. Woo! Anybody ever see the tunnels that were underneath the town from the Dowie house to the hotel? I never got a chance to see them. Are they filled in or are they just blocked off? That's what I want to know. And what exists down in the basement of the Dowie house? I need to know that too. For those that don't know, Dr. Alexander Dowie planned the city of Zion, Illinois, and actually planned it to look like a British flag from the air. That's why there's a round circle drive, not in the middle of Zion, but in it, and then 4 angled streets coming off of it. And yeah. Anyway, so he built the hotel, very huge hotel, to house the men that were going to build the city. It's a planned city. Now, Dr. Dowie was a preacher, but he was a healer. He was a faith healer. I forget. Well, I was going to say I forget the religion, but no, I don't. The church I went to was the Christian Catholic Church. It was Protestant in Zion, and I assume whatever that is what he was. But he didn't like. They had a lot of rules. If you spit on the sidewalk, you get arrested. Same thing with foul language and whatnot, all that shit, right? So he's a faith healer that didn't believe in doctors. Now, it's in the book, Patty. It's pretty traumatic where Teddy finds these old newspapers that talk about some stuff, and his mother tells him the story about how Dr. Alexander Dowie's daughter, wearing a flowing gown and, nice hair. It's a little conceited, he thought, wanting to look so nice. But she had a curling iron that was alcohol burner curling iron, and it inflamed her. and she was burned 85, 90% of her body. It didn't look good. And her mother wanted her to have the doctor involved, and he said absolutely not, that the city of Zion's people were, like I believe, is an ego and are little batteries that come together and have power. That power has a positive charge and a negative charge. And he said, no. So he's trying to rule the universe. He says, no doctors, which the universe developed. It's going to be healed my way or no way. He got no way. She died because of her wounds, and the city of Zion was split. That's what happened. Now, if my facts are wrong, somebody correct me with real facts. Patty Moore said, I would love to sit and tell stories. Would like to hear about your life. I didn't know there were tunnels. I want to go tour the house this year. If you do, please learn how to use your handheld. Your phone has got enough memory on it where you can send it yourself and then erase it. So you can do all kinds of things with it. Send me some footage. Shane Goodell joined us. And Patty Moore said, yes, you are right. I did a report in 8th grade about the town. Yeah, the city of Zion, Illinois is historic because so much has happened there, and a lot of it's come out of there. I mean, goodness sake, 1976, we did have a bicentennial parade, and we had a grand marshal. Who was it? Mr. Olson from Little House on the Prairie. Damn it, patriot. Thank you, Mr. Olson. Dry goods store salesman. No, owner. Your daughter Nellie was a bitch, though. She was cute near the end. So, important town. Mr. Olson and all. Well, you know, Gary Coleman's from there. Me. Oh, Ted Sabine's from there. I can't forget him. Uh-oh, my Amazon package has shipped. Oh, I got a shitload of stuff coming today. Ooh, guaranteed. Did you see, Patty? I just received this today. It's my GoPro Black 7, Hero 7. I'll be heading on down to Ponce Inlet that I described, and go further on down the Indian River to my Pop's fishing hole. Spend a little bit of time there. Head on down. We go past the VAB building and NASA and everything, and see what's up there. Now I know that Port of Orlando pretty good. Go on down to Miami. Head on out and go over to Bimini. Check out the road to Atlantis, allegedly. I want to see for myself with my GoPro, which go down 33 feet, which is 10 meters. Just, 12 feet under, 15 feet under the water. And I want to feel the edges myself. There's a few things I want to see about whether or not it's wear and tear of ocean currents or an actual laid down road, because I'm a construction expert and I can tell you all about it. And then I'll head on back to the mainland and then work my way on down to the Keys, where I'll spend some time, depending on the hurricane season situation, and check out Marquis Island for a spell. You said yes, and I believe he was no longer in charge of the city. I think you're speaking of, I'm not sure. I moved too fast. It's okay. There's a lot of history there. I plan on doing a documentary, Patty, on Zion and how it was founded in the most positive sense. There's really no negative things there other than lessons to be learned. Patty Moore says I'm extremely intelligent. Somebody pass the word, please, because I'm a manic son of a bitch that can make no sense at all. What I require in order to do my art or my thinking is to be a demon against the walls and say everything that I absolutely don't mean or want to say to anybody, and can't believe the filth that comes out of my mind and my mouth. But once it's out, then I can talk nicely and really truly how I feel. So to be a genuine self has to be both sides. And you don't want to expose, I don't want to expose my really ugly side to anybody more. That's why I bought a houseboat, so I can yell at the walls and say all the filth that I know doesn't exist in my life, but it does in other universes and dimensions. If I can think it, it's happened and I've been there. That's why I got to let it out. So now I'm here in the now. This isn't really my today, but that's okay. It's the one I got. So, yeah. And there's an I in there. It's not thou, it's DOWIE, just like almost like the fabric softener. Or is that with a Y? I don't care. Don't tell me. So I want to explore these things of metaphysical sense. I am a wizard. I have been for a while. I just lost it all in my head. So I've got almost all my equipment on that side ready to study and relearn and learn more. That happens a lot with the telling people. Mind runs 24/7. Yeah, my mind doesn't stop at all. So I catnap. I don't really sleep at all. I'll, if I get a couple hours, I'll try and record it to see if I get up. Because when I lived over in Winter Springs, I would wake up outside, naked, against I-4 one time. And I spoke about, I was kidding about the Cheetos on my feet that I ate them, but I didn't. They were dirty. So, and then I'd get mad. I'd wake up on the lawn in the back, naked, and the house would be locked with a deadbolt and no key. Don't know how I did that. And then I'd look up and say, put me back where you fucking got me, damn it. And just think, it's my mind, I'm joking. And maybe I am, because it's all possibilities. Anyway, this thing's running over an hour. I don't know if I'm going to be able to break this up. No, I'll make it a live. I'll do it right away like that. She said, my husband is like that. Yeah, well, listen to what he says and slap him around. Tell him to shut up. Tell him to shut up until he gets in the truck or in the barn or in the garage. Go let it out somewhere. If you're, I know the mind running 24/7 means that you got to let the demons out. If you let the demons out, you can reason with what's left for a bit. It's called not having baggage, damn it. Burn the baggage with the filthy mouth where no one can hear it or pay for what it is that you don't really mean. Because I know I don't mean a lot of the shit that I say unrecorded. Anyway, thank you for the conversation, Patty Moore. I'll try and remember more as Andrea's little sister, but I won't think of you that way. I'll think of you as Patty Moore, who just happens to have a sister named Andrea. So thank you for your friendship, Patty, and I can't wait to shake your paw and give you a big hug and shake your husband's paw and your family. See Andrea again and pull her hair. No, I won't pull her hair. She'll like it too much. Now I have to throw her down and have my way with her, and then there'll be the whole thing. We can't have that thing happen. Even though women over 50, that's what they want. They want you to throw them down and take them and then say, thanks, that was good. Or so I hear. Actually, it might be just a little bit different than that, depending on the variables. Ciao, baby.